right, let's begin. Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are joining us from. We are very pleased to have you here with us this evening to speak a little bit more about Brown University's pre-college programs, STEM for rising 9th and 10th graders. Before we begin, I do want to just kind of go over an agenda for the session. We are going to provide a pretty brief overview of the Brown pre-college program as a whole. We will go over how to apply and some things to consider when applying. Then I will introduce our guest speaker who will be with us to discuss more about STEM for rising 9th and 10th graders, or as we call it, STEM 910. So if you hear us saying STEM 910 throughout the program, that's what we're referring to. We will and then we will end with a live Q&A. So the session should last about 30 minutes or so. It is going to be recorded. So if you would like to rewatch it, or you have someone, someone who couldn't make it tonight and you want to share it with them, it will be recorded and up on our YouTube page within the next week. And then we like to remind folks that we do have the closed captioning function available at the very bottom if you click on the CC button at the bottom of your screen. I also just realized I did not introduce myself. I apologize. My name is Dan Murphy. I am the digital communications specialist with Brown Pre-College. And so I will be hosting you this evening as we learn a little bit more about STEM 910. A few housekeeping items. For our Q&A, you can submit questions throughout the entire presentation and at the end using the Q&A chat function at the bottom. So as we're going through, feel free to pop in any questions that you have. We also received quite a few pre-submitted questions as well, and we'll try to answer as many as we can at the end of the session. And then lastly, we also like to remind you that all of the information we're about to go over is available on our website at precollege.brown.edu. Highly recommend taking a look. That is where the most up-to-date information lives. You can find the information, more information about the program, frequently asked questions, whatever you need is most likely on there. So definitely take a look at that. So Brown Pre-College at a glance. So each year we welcome more than 6,000 high school students who choose to spend part of their summer with us, exploring our 300 plus courses that reflect the open curriculum here at Brown. We have this summer, I think we have about 350, give or take, courses so far being offered. Our program replicates the freedom and responsibility of the real college experience. So if you come to Brown Pre-College, you're going to balance the challenge of college level academics with the enriching social activities that are available wherever you choose to study. And tonight, specifically, we are going to discuss the STEM 910 program, which we will get to in just a moment. So regardless of which program you're interested in, the first step in your pre-college experience is completing our application. The application is designed to mirror the common application, which many colleges and universities use. And so our application process will actually help prepare you for what to expect in the college application process if and when you choose to apply to a college or university. And that includes adding transcripts and thinking through and crafting, an essay based on unique writing prompts. Our application for 2023 is now open, and our regular admission deadline is May 12th. However, we always encourage folks to apply sooner rather than later, just so that you have the most courses to select from. You can find our application by clicking on apply at the top of our website. We also have an application checklist available. So if you want to see all of the materials you will need to gather for your application before you start it, you can actually go to the application checklist and see everything that you need. A common question we get about the application is, am I applying to a specific program in Brown Pre-College? So for example, when I apply, am I applying to STEM 910, or am I applying to Brown Pre-College as a whole? So we just want to reiterate that when you apply, you are applying to the Brown Pre-College program as a whole. So that's your first step, apply. After that, if you are admitted, you would then go in and enroll in a course in the program you are interested in. So if you are interested in STEM 910, after you're admitted, you would then go in and view all of the available courses for STEM 910, and you would then enroll in one of those courses. And again, you must meet the age and grade eligibility requirements, which we will get to in a little bit, specifically for STEM 910. So that's a little bit about the Brown Pre-College program as a whole, and the application process. So now I am pleased to introduce our guest, Abbey Aevazlis, who is the director of our STEM programs. So welcome, Abbey. We're excited to have you here.
Hi, Dan. Thanks so much for having me, and welcome everybody this evening. I'm really pleased to be here with you. My name's Abbey Aevazlis. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Associate Director of Pre-College Programs and the Director of STEM Programs. So my work really focuses on specifically the STEM for Rising 9th and 10th graders program for our youngest audience. And also I help to coordinate, facilitate all the science, technology, and math courses that are within our flagship program, Summer at Brown.
Great.
Thanks for having me.
So Abbey, we have a few questions for you to kind of walk through the STEM 910 program with us. And as we're asking questions, we will post some photos up just so that so everyone who's in attendance can see a little bit more about like what does the program actually look like. So Abbey, let's just start off. Can you tell us just a little bit more about the STEM 910 program and what it is?
Absolutely. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to share a little bit more with our audience this evening. The STEM 910 program is designed for our youngest audience. So those are the rising 9th and 10th graders that range in age from 13 through 15 years old. So I want you to consider that students are really bracketing that first year of high school. Typically, about half of our population has just finished 8th grade and will start high school soon, and the other half has just completed their first or freshman year. There's about 250 students each year in the program, and the classrooms are capped at just below 20 students. The program is also, this is important to share, the program is offered as a residential experience on campus, which means it doesn't include an online or commuter option. It's a wonderful opportunity for students to learn from and share experiences with each other as they make new friends and bond over their shared love of the STEM subjects. And as you can see in this image, I will get to meet many of you and your families on check-in day, Sunday, July 16th this year, during our parent and student orientation.
Great. So Abbey, can you talk a little bit, what sets this program apart from our Summer at Brown program?
Absolutely. So I referenced Summer at Brown as the flagship. And what I mean by that is that it is our largest program. It's our program for predominantly high school students. So this program mirrors Summer at Brown, but because we have a slightly younger audience, we have ingrained and built into the program structure more support and more structure into the day. So during the first day or so, students are going to be introduced to campus along with their residence advisors. So they learn how to navigate the space, and they get from their residence hall where they're living to their academic, dining, and recreational areas. So what that really means is Monday you're walked to class, right, in this program, but you wouldn't be in Summer at Brown. So there's additional sort of layers of support that are built in. I referenced RAs. You might be wondering what an RA is, but RAs are typically undergraduate students that are supported through our layers of professional staff with our student life team. And RAs actually live in the dorms with the students, and they go through specific training to help to support our STEM 910 population. Students get lots of opportunity to get to know the other students that live around them and their RAs really well through community building activities that occur daily along with nightly floor meetings. And each RA is assigned to and works closely with a small cohort of students in their group. During those floor meetings that I referenced, students will learn strategies for being successful in a living and learning environment, and they continue to enhance and strengthen their newfound friendships. As students live on campus with us for the full 2 weeks, there's lots of time to get to know others within the program. In this program, there's also some additional structure that's built into what happens out of class, and I'll get to share that with you in a few minutes as well.
Great, thank you. So it sounds like there's a lot of support for the students in this program for coming. So can you talk a little bit about like what does a day in the life of a student in the STEM program look like?
Absolutely. So over the 2 weeks, we'll start sort of thinking about the bookends. And the bookends are the first day when you check in, you're going to come to that large all group parent student orientation. That's where I'll get to meet you. And then the final day when you come and pick up your students, your final day when you get to see your families after 2 weeks, you will have done a presentation of learning on your academic project. And we'll kind of get to that in a few minutes. But what's the day-to-day look like? The day-to-day is that 3 hours every morning from 8:30 to 11:20, you will be participating in your course. So in addition to that morning session, you also are going to have 2 long days per week. So that's a total of 4 afternoon sessions that will also be in academics. Your class may have your long days on the Tuesday, Thursdays, or your class may work on a rotating Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday long day schedule. It just is dependent on how the class is scheduled. What's important for you to know is you can only take one class over the full 2 weeks. What you'll be doing in those afternoon sessions could include field trips, extra lab work, project work, or working on your academic project. If your course has specific prerequisites or information about needing lab attire or laptops, if you don't see it immediately in the course description when you're looking in our catalog, that information will be sent to you prior to arrival. So for example, there's a marine science class. They're probably going to tell you to bring some shoes that you don't mind getting dirty, right? And you're going to get that information ahead of time. And then I've referenced this academic project. So each course will include a project that students will work on over the 2 weeks. You should expect to spend about 12 to 15 hours over the 2 weeks working on that project, and you'll showcase your learning on the final day. Out of the classroom, so that's the academic side. Out of the classroom, when you're not taking your academic course, you'll have full dining access. You'll have breakfast, lunch, and dinner dining access. You'll have free times in the afternoon where you can participate in STEM-related activities, join in with some of the summer at Brown students, doing some workshops that they might be having, or even working with your RAs in RA-led sessions. You'll also get to spend some time twice a week in a study hall-like experience, working with your project with RA support and with your classmates. And you can enjoy quiet time relaxing in your res hall or on the green, just kind of hanging out around campus. In the evenings and weekends, this gets back to that little bit of additional structure that we've built into this particular program. Students participate in what we like to call fundatory activities. So if you put that together, they're fun and mandatory because our students are kept together as a cohort and they're supervised by members of the student life team. So for example, after dinner, students could come together and they could be escorted to a variety of activities hosted by the RAs. So one night, maybe they'll go in a small group to an escape room, maybe they'll see a movie. Another night, the whole cohort, the entire program will go together to go bowling. So there's lots of different activities. Those opportunities vary every year, and students are able to experience many different and fun activities throughout the 2 weeks. And like I said, the program is directly supported not only by the RAs who are living with the students, professional staff like us, but also wonderful residence directors who help plan, coordinate, and supervise the RAs that interact directly with your students.
Great. And on the screen, you'll see an example of one of the activities from this past summer. I think they're watching Spider-Man, but lots of like movies on the green and things like that. So thank you, Abby. So you mentioned, I think a marine biology course. Can you highlight maybe what a few courses are that will be offered this summer?
Absolutely. So there are 14 courses that will be on offer in our STEM 910 program. Here's a few that I can share with you that I think you might be interested in. So for example, understanding the universe. So in that course, students will survey the major themes of astrophysics and cosmology, explore both the established truths and deep mysteries of our universe. And if that course is really ideal for students who are curious about space and want to explore related topics. Another is the art of science communication. So one of the biggest scientific challenges is effectively communicating data and information to an audience. It's very easy to misinterpret information when it's presented unclearly. So something as mundane as the daily weather can become confusing. This course helps you develop and practice skills in data science, research, and communication. Switching gears, we have, let's think, identification and study of wild-caught nematodes. So along with learning the lab techniques common in biotechnology, in this particular course, you'll be doing DNA-based experiments. Here you'll work with a model organism that you get to go out into the environment and find and collect yourself, just as any good field scientist would do. And C. elegans is a little roundworm. So you can actually see a picture on the screen, and that's what you'll be working with in that class. And then another one of our disciplines, let's highlight all of our STEM. So let's think about code, ciphers, and cryptography, and introduction through math. So if you love puzzles and problem solving, take that to the next level as you enhance your understanding of math. Not only will you rediscover how math is all around us and integral to our everyday lives, but you'll also learn how to create your own cipher that others have to decode. So these are just a few. We also have courses in biotechnology, engineering, marine science, like I've mentioned, physics. I could go on, but I encourage you to check out the course catalog and find a few courses that resonate with you. It's good to have flexibility in case your top choice is already full by the time you get to enroll. So as you're thinking about what to enroll in, I want you to consider the following. What will you be most excited about studying for 2 weeks? What are you passionate about? How do you feel the information you learn will help you grow or even change the world, which I'm sure many, if not all of you, will do? And have fun exploring. Remember, courses do book up fast, so there's limited seats in each course, and you should enroll as soon as you're ready.
Abbey, what excites you most about the STEM program, returning in 2023 for rising 9th and 10th graders?
One of the things I love about this program is it's just so affirming. Walking around campus and just hearing the students, seeing the happy faces and excited voices. Students they have these instantaneous best friends, people that may look completely different from them, come from an entirely different lived experience from around the globe, and they connect on these elements that are so important to who they are, right? And so what they're not seeing is the things that set them apart. What they're seeing are the things that really tie them together. So students could be talking about what they're learning in class, having a debate about the latest current events, STEM related or not, or just hanging out talking about books, movies, or the things that they care about. And when students come to this program, often they're coming from a home environment where they may be the only student who cares as deeply or passionately about science, technology, engineering, or math. And here they're suddenly immersed into this experience with over 200 other students who care as deeply and passionately about similar topics as well. So it is an incredibly affirming experience, again, to meet people that you would never have met otherwise, and to find you have these deep connections. There's many opportunities for shared collaboration and learning. And that, to me, is what sets this program apart as being something really special.
Nice. It is definitely a very special program, and I have to say that the campus really comes alive in the summer when the students are here and when STEM 910 is here. It's really truly something special in the summer to attend. So, thank you, Abbey. So those are all the questions we have for you. So let's actually turn it over to the participants. So we're going to switch over to the live Q&A portion of the evening. So again, just a reminder, use the Q&A function below at the bottom of your screen, and I can already see some questions have started to come in. We're going to try to answer as many as we can. We might not get to all of them, but we will provide our contact information right before we end. We do have a few pre-submitted questions, so I do want to start with a few of those. So Abbey, this question has been asked a few times, was pre-submitted a few times in a multitude of ways. But for people who are rising 10th graders who are technically eligible for STEM 910, but also possibly eligible for the Summer at Brown program as well, what should they consider when making that decision to enroll in either STEM 910 or the Summer at Brown program?
So that is a great question. So Summer at Brown can actually, again, rising 10th graders who are 14 through 18 years old can be in Summer at Brown. STEM 910 mirrors Summer at Brown in a lot of the ways. So really one of the biggest differences is how comfortable, and students, I'm talking to you for a minute, how comfortable are you in terms of thinking about navigating a space that you're unfamiliar with, harnessing the opportunity to make new friendships, really experiencing the pre-college life without those additional layers of structure and support. So for example, needing to be walked to class on Monday morning, right? Students are not walked to class the rest of the week, but they are that first day. Now, parents and guidance counselors, if you're on the call, I'm talking to you as well. I would ask you to defer to your student. If your student says to you, I can do this, I know I can do this, I'm okay, then I would suggest that you defer to them. The structure is wonderful for a student or a family who really feels that, this is your first time away from home. Maybe you haven't slept away from home before, and you just want to make sure that they have that additional comfort. That's wonderful. But if you have a student who's like, I've got this, I navigate like public transit systems on my own all the time, then, and they're the appropriate age, I would suggest that they consider Summer Brown, or if they're 15, even some of our other programs that we offer as well, if they're excited about those.
Yeah, that's great. So I think a somewhat related question that we have been asked a few times as well, and is STEM 910 a prerequisite to attend Summer at Brown? So does someone have to come to STEM 910 before they can be eligible to go to Summer at Brown?
Absolutely not. So for any student who's considering, or any family who's considering, we have a huge range of different amazing programs that really allow your student to sort of dip their toe into the thing that they're most passionate about. They can participate in as many, assuming they're accepted, they can participate in as many as you want them to, or as few. So they do not need to come to STEM 910 to participate in Summer at Brown. If you are a rising 10th grader who's sitting on this call, and based on our conversation, you're thinking, I kind of think maybe Summer at Brown is the better one for me. 1 week, 2 week, 3 options. It's a little bit different, more flexibility. There's a lot of really amazing STEM courses. Again, I help to coordinate those. A lot of really amazing STEM courses that are sitting in the Summer at Brown catalog as well. So you can filter in our catalog actually to kind of differentiate and take a look at the courses in the areas you're interested in both programs, and get a sense as to what you're most excited about.
That's a good thing to point out, is that you can view the course catalog and filter by what you're interested in programs. So that's a good thing to remember. So it sounds like it's not a prerequisite. Great.
Nope.
Abbey, this is a question that we had pre-submitted, and I'm seeing some coming in to the live chat as well, is people are curious about, like, what do students do on that weekend? Because they're there for 2 weeks, so there's that weekend in the middle. So like, what would they be doing during that weekend?
Absolutely. So our student life team actually designs a really robust weekend for our students. Part of it will include some downtime. They're going to need it. We keep them very, very busy, and they're going to be working on that academic project. So part of it is actually just some time to sleep in a little bit if they want to. They can relax. They can hang on the green. They can spend time with friends. They can explore some of the resources on Brown's campus. So part of that is some free time that will be embedded typically on the Saturday. And then there's like a larger evening or an early to late evening event. In the past, for example, they've gone to the Woo Sox, so one of the local baseball teams. And then typically what happens on the other weekend day is there's an all-day field trip that would leave a little bit earlier and come back a little bit earlier. So students have, if it happens on a Sunday, students would have the nighttime to rest and recoup before their class starts up again on the Monday. But it's a full robust set of offerings that our student life team puts aside and ready to go for our STEM 910 students.
Yeah, there's definitely always something to be doing. So we're getting a lot of questions now, and I can answer this one, is about just in general about scholarships, or, are there scholarships available? Where can we find program costs, things like that. So program costs are available on our website. So if you head to precollege.brown.edu and you go to costs and aid at the very top, you'll be able to find the various programs. So you'll be able to find the STEM 910 and see what the cost is for that. We do have scholarships available. More information is also on our website at costs and aid. what we recommend is, if you believe if you are interested in a scholarship, always apply for that sooner rather than later, as there are some limited funds. And so it is kind of first come, first serve. An important piece to know about that is when you apply, you don't need to wait for a decision to start your application for a scholarship. So once you apply, if you need a scholarship or interested in a scholarship, definitely start that application for a scholarship as well. And unfortunately, we are unable to provide international scholarships for 2023. A peppering of questions around COVID protocols, which makes sense after the last 3 years. And again, I can answer this one. We are still finalizing what our public health guidelines will be for the summer of 2023. And so that will be ready hopefully in the next few months, and will be communicated with applicants and anyone who is enrolled for the summer. So that information is forthcoming. Abby, we have quite a few questions about housing. So can you talk a little bit more about housing, about roommates, or just any information about what that's like?
Absolutely. So students are typically housed with one other student, and you're going to be housed with somebody who's within 1 year of your age. And we do not accept roommate requests, so you are randomly assigned, but you're randomly assigned with students so who would have the same gender identity, and they're going to live in one large res hall. Actually, in this case, I think there's where we're going to be living. I've been living the past few years. There's 2 res halls that are sort of just side by side. It's a nice, beautiful space. And so there are lounges within the res halls that you can hang out in. And then there's, multiple bathrooms on the floors. And then there's a room where students are going to be responsible, for example, for taking out their own trash. They're going to have to do that. There's laundry facilities in the res halls. So that's just some information to share.
Yeah, definitely giving you a little taste of the college experience. So, Abby, we are getting quite a few questions about, project topics, things like that. So can you talk a little bit more, like are students able to design their own projects? And can you maybe offer some examples of past student projects?
Sure. So what's going to happen in your class is you will be assigned either a partner or typically a small group of 3. Usually we don't encourage groups of 4 because we want to make sure that everybody has an active part and is able to contribute equally to a project. The projects are going to be guided by your instructor, which means they're going to be guided by the overall content and topic, but students get free choice to sort of think about what they're most excited about. One that I can think of that's a little bit more structured, for example, we in our marine science class, students actually work to put together a grant proposal to be able to do some cleanup within Narragansett Bay. So the overall structure of that program is a grant proposal, but specifically what they care about, what they want to restore is really something that's coming from the students themselves. We talked about the cryptography class. So you're going to be designing a cipher. That will be an element in one of our engineering classes. Design studio students are really working to actually design a functional and beautiful piece of engineering. Last year, in prior years, it's been furniture, but it doesn't mean it will be this year. It really is driven by the topic that the instructor brings forward. So again, instructors give guidance and structure, but students have the ability to really kind of hone in on the things they're most excited about.
That's great. Abby, it seems like we maybe have some folks here who might not, based off their age, be eligible for STEM 910. So they're curious, since you oversee some similar programs for STEM 910, do similar programs and courses exist for rising 11th and 12th graders?
Absolutely. So you want to learn Introduction to Quantum Computing? We've got it in Summer Brown. You want to do astrophysics and cosmology. There's many different courses actually that tie into that content in Summer Brown as well. DNA science and biotechnology. There's a whole series of different courses. If you are 16 plus, or you will be 16 plus prior to the start of the program, I would also encourage you to look at courses that are tagged with independent research or biotechnology and independent research. We have a series of course-based research experiences, CRE, where you actually will conduct actual research. You'll be doing research, proposing your own questions, and working on things that are unknown to science. So there's a whole series. I mean, just in STEM broadly, there's, intro to engineering and design, anything you could possibly think of that would be offered in a college or university. We have a snippet of that. As Dan had referenced, is over 350 courses in Summer Brown. If you're also interested in the connection between physics and philosophy, we have a course on that as well. So lots of opportunities for you to explore areas that you're super passionate about, be it writing, history, anthropology, or DNA science. So.
There's a lot available this summer. You talked a little bit about CRE, which is a good segue. We get so just to put it out there, we do have 2 more information sessions coming up. And there's one actually on March 2nd, which Abbey will be joining us again to go over it, but talking more about STEM and the CRE courses that are available through summer at Brown. And then next week, we also have language and context English. So if you're interested in any of these sessions, or there are other info sessions we had that you missed, if you head to our website, you can go to the info session page. You can register for these 2 upcoming. We also have the recordings of the past sessions in case you wanted to catch some of those. And real quick before we conclude this evening, I did want to address just 2 questions that have been coming in quite frequently. So the first one is, how do I confirm my spot in the program if accepted? Great question. So once you are admitted, you will select a course, you'll enroll, and then once you enroll and you pay your deposit, you are confirmed in your spot. And then the other one is, roughly how long after applying can I expect a decision? So you would receive a decision in your email inbox, whatever email that you provide to us, within 10 to 15 business days. So once you submit, wait about 10 to 15 business days and you should get an email decision from us. So before you go, we like to remind people, follow us on social media. We post pretty regularly. We try to show as much of a student focus and student perspective as we can. So if you don't already, definitely please follow us there. And then we had a lot of questions come in. I know we weren't able to get to all of them. So if you have any and you would like some answers, please reach out to us at precollege@brown.edu or give us a call during business hours. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one of our program advisors will get back to you pretty quickly. Our program advisors are basically encyclopedias of our department. They know a lot of information, and they can really help you navigate and sift through all the courses, the programs, which one is right for you, what are your interests, and so definitely reach out to them. So again, thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. We had a great time, and thank you, Abbey, for presenting on the STEM 910 program.
It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you, everyone. Again, as Dan referenced, our program advisors are amazing, wonderful, and have so much information. So please reach out to them if you have questions about this or any of our other programs.
Yeah. So thank you again. Have a good evening.